Alright, so let's recap where we're at. I have one quad. Okay, let's recap the recap of the recap. Okay, so back to the beginning. I came out because I wanted to test out my quads that I had damaged last weekend and repaired this week and see how good they fly. So where are we at? So I had one quad here that has a very touchy connector on his 4-in-1, and this motor is not always arming properly, but flies okay. He had a bit of shaky FPV camera too. Then I had this quad that was flying perfectly. Well, then I crashed it because I'm an idiot, and I bent one motor, I bent one bell, but I burned this motor out pretty good, as you can see. So this quad is not as bad as it looks. I basically took the good camera from this guy, put it in this guy, so this guy now has a good FPV camera, good everything. Just his 4-in-1 connector is a bit iffy. So yeah, I'm down to one flying quad now, but this guy should be an easy fix. It's just swap that motor with the new motor. I don't burn out motors very often, actually. 90% of the time it's just bells, but that is well and truly burnt, as you can see from the windings there. Anyways, I'm getting out of here and I'm taking the easy way. So the only reason I am on the camera right now is because I'm taking the easy way out. Although I'm still watching my footing, because these places are a little bit, well, potentially dangerous. I am going to go into my quads again this week, fix what isn't working, but I'm going to kind of try and reinforce the weak bits that I've identified today, and on we'll go. My brain's a bit scrambled, I guess. I had fun, but like, I had work to do. Wait, I still have work to do. I don't know, whatever. My main point, I think, that I'm gonna make before I hop in my Jeep, and I'll make my point against the glorious background of this bando. The main point I guess I'd make about this hobby is, like, it's not an easy hobby. Like, people need to get that, man. It really bugs me when people treat it as easy and this and that, and you know, it's tempting to think that this hobby is just a succession of perfect 2-minute and 30-second perfect flight videos, and you know, maybe you practice a bit and you are like on the top of the world, Mr. Steele, Johnny, whoever your favorite pilot is, level skills. Nah, it doesn't work like that. I honestly think there's levels you got to go through. No one shows you the pain first of breaking stuff and having to troubleshoot stuff and fix stuff, and it happens to everyone. Even the sponsored pilots have that. Like, sometimes stuff just, you think you put it together right and it just doesn't work, and that's like a big reality of this. So if you're a plug-and-play kind of guy, you're going to get frustrated in this hobby, and I kind of see a lot of that on some of the forums, particularly the newer guys. They're like, guys, why doesn't this work? It's like, well, figure it out, you know. There's that thing. It's tough, but it's also tough, like, finding spots, right? So it's not like I have a ton of spots here. I had to, like, root and search and poke and game my way into half these cool spots that I've got, and I'm glad to have them, and they're not going to last forever. Everything changes all the time. You know, they're good for a while, and then something happens and it's just, you can't get in there anymore, or maybe it's just, it changes, and so on and so forth. So everything's always in flux. There's a pain side to it, and I think that's what makes it a hobby. Like, working through all the challenges that come up. I think that's really important. I think you have to have the mindset that whatever happens, you're not going to give up. You're going to sit down, you're going to take stuff apart, redo it until it works. You know, reach out, ask for help, whatever. Yeah, people will maybe give you flack and stuff, but I don't know. I think when we lose that part of the hobby, it's just, we're losing something huge, right? Because once this becomes a whole plug and play thing, then, I don't know, it just takes some of the skill out of it. Because when you go through all that whole suffering and troubleshooting and learning how to build stuff and learning how to solder and just how to screw things together right, how to choose the right parts, how to perfect your setup, how to fly correctly, you know, and then there's the whole flying skills thing, your cinematography, like, all that stuff, it gives you a lot to do. It there's all these dimensions to the hobby that you can enjoy. You can enjoy building. You can enjoy just learning how to fly better. You can enjoy cinematography and editing. You can even enjoy, troubleshooting other people's quads, right? Like, there's so much to enjoy. And once you reduce things to like plug and play and it better work and it better be awesome or I'm going to feel angry. Once you approach it that way, I think you are, I don't know what. Then we're just turning this into like a consumer kind of thing where you just buy stuff off the shelf and you blame other people if it doesn't work properly. And if you're not as fast as Bincham and you don't fly as good as Johnny, it's the quad's fault and the tune's fault and the firmware sucks and I don't know what. What I'm trying to say is work hard at this stuff and, no one shows you the suffering that goes into things because that doesn't fit into what people want to show. But believe me, everyone goes through it. So if you are one of these dudes like suffering, like I am suffering right now with my setups, just work through it, be patient, work through it, and you will get back to the other side. And I believe that you will get a much more rewarding experience of the hobby too, because the more like obstacles you overcome in this hobby, the better and stronger and more confident you get at it from all sorts of different angles. And I think that's a good thing. That's one of the best things you can get out of this. It's character building. It grows you as not just a pilot flying a drone, but it grows you as a person, It engages you on so many levels if you let it. So, yeah. Just open your mind, enjoy the ride, and see you on the other side, I guess.